What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew First Culture podcast. My name is Jeremy, and as always, thank you very, very much for spending some time with me today. Man, it's been a while. I I have had a little break. By little, I mean I don't even know how long it's been now. It's been quite a while. Definitely longer than I had anticipated, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit here in a second. But like I said, man, I'm I'm glad to be back on. I miss the conversations that I've had, the people that I've got to talk with and learn from, the the amount of growth that I have gained just by hosting this podcast from my guest has been great. It's been awesome. Even through the conversations that I've had behind the scenes with people that have listened to episodes. I've had quite a few conversations about just the Monday mindset check episodes that are just me, shorter episodes that have resonated with certain people, and that's been an area of growth too. And so I can't thank you all enough for being with me today. I know that taking a long extended break like that for a podcast is not great for kind of the reach. I hope that it didn't kind of erode at some of the momentum I had going. It's not about the numbers, it's not about how big it'll get or all that, but at the same time, the numbers, that's who you're reaching. So if you kind of take a break and you lose a lot of your audience, well, that's you're losing your reach of people that you can help. And so hopefully we can get back into it. I am not promising right now that we will be back on schedule. I mean, obviously this is being put out later than Monday. It's kind of where I was getting into is I was really starting to slip on those Monday episodes, and they started coming out more on Tuesday and even some on Wednesday. And so, I don't have any solid lineup of people to kind of bring back on for the bigger episodes. I'm putting this episode out to start the reconnect with anyone out there that is willing to reconnect, because I miss it. I enjoy it. I have grown from it. I've gotten feedback from others that have done the same. And so I want to get back into it. So a little bit about where I've been and this, it's been a journey, and I can kind of foresee this episode being named, the battle, my battle within. And that's kind of what I have been going through. Anybody that's listened to my stuff or kind of kept up with posts, or definitely anybody that is involved in our clubhouse meetings, you know a little bit of behind the scenes stuff with me. I this past year and a half, 2 years has been an amazing journey for me. It's truly been an amazing journey for me to see what has happened in that amount of time, where I'm at in that amount of time. It's very cool. And I love being in that area, in that kind of place that I feel like I've grown so much, learned so much. And so that being said, I feel like that growth and the passion, that I've been able to kind of resurrect with lots of help from others, obviously, but the passion, the growth, the just learning and knowing more about leadership, more about certain skills like hose deployment and search and forcible entry, things like that. The more I learn, that double edge comes from, yes, you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining skill, you're getting better in those areas, but it's almost like you get frustrated so much more because you see so many areas that can be better and that should be better. And so that's really a problem area for me. I have really got to work at keeping my focus small. I tend to stretch that focus way farther than I need to, and that's when the frustration comes. That's when I start slipping because priorities get muddied. My time goes to places that shouldn't be, and this is, obviously not just at the firehouse. This is life. This is home with the family and everything else. And so, kind of what I mean by that, as far as just at the firehouse, is, I love being a station officer. I love being able to, make my crew, my house, as good as I want it to be, as good as it should be, or at least be on that journey towards that. I love that opportunity. But I also struggle with the desire to make bigger circles better. The department that I've spent 19 years of my life working for, I want it to be better. I see areas that we need to be better in, that we should be better in, and I just want that because I care. I truly care for this department. And therein lies the problem. Because as a captain, yeah, you have say so, and you have a little bit of kind of voice, but you are not a decision maker. You are not a key player in the culture and the training, and so many different areas. You aren't a key player. Can you affect change on that bigger scale as a captain or even a driver or firefighter? Yes, you can. Are those opportunities very prevalent? No, absolutely, for my situation, no, they're not. And so that's where the problems begin. Speaking personally, I guess I don't mean to kind of speak for anybody else, but like I said, I see these areas, and I'll just say one because I've been pretty vocal about it. Is the leadership development, the promotional development, officer development, whatever. I think leadership development is probably the best way to say it, because it doesn't, you don't have to promote to be better at leadership. You need to be better at leadership no matter what you are, no matter how long you have on. And so I'll kind of leave it at that. And we just don't have anything like that. We don't have any kind of formal anything. And it's been a sticking point with me for a long time. Basically, especially through this period of growth that I just talked about, because I want us to be better. I see areas that we need to be better at as far as leading our department. Leaders, that have a year on, that are firefighters, we need to make them better. People that are drivers, who for us can ride out as officers, they need to be better. Young officers, which I would put myself in, we need to be better. But if we don't have anything in place to make that happen, how does it happen? all the growth that I'm talking about that I've experienced, I'm sorry, but it's been on my own. It's been, and I don't mean I did it by myself. I mean, I had to go outside of my organization to achieve that growth. Through books, through classes, through conferences, through conversations with great people that I look up to. So many opportunities out there for us to grow. And that's awesome. Those opportunities are there and you just got to go get them. But we should also be bringing some of that in. We should be doing a better job of just helping each other to grow. And so, like I said, that's been a problem for me because I just want things to be better. I want us to at least start working towards that goal. And I have not gotten the opportunity to help with anything like that. I've not seen any even energy put into, and it's not like I need to be a part of it. I just want to see us be better. I just want us to see us. I want to see us have something, and it's not happening. And so that starts the frustration. I see how things could be better. I see how we can be better as a department, and it's not happening. And I can't do anything about that, which builds frustration, builds resentment, builds anger, and there in turn lies the problem. And so to complicate that even farther is, and I'm not going to go into any details here. Like I said, if there are people out there that have listened to some of our clubhouse conversations, you probably know a lot about what I'm talking about. But so when I am focusing on my small circle, when I do try to build some crew pride and try to do things to bring us up to the level that I know we should be at, well, I have been met with some pretty serious resistance. I've told quite a few people here lately, I've been on 19 years. I've never worked for anywhere else as far as fire service. This is the only place, firehouse, the fire department that I've worked for. But up until those last 2 years, I've never been in trouble. I've never been written up. I've never really had any issues with anybody or anything. This last year and a half, really this last year, maybe even, I, I guess you could even kind of whittle it down to the last 3 months or even maybe 2 months. But the last 2 months, I've been in more trouble and more, more heat kind of placed on me than total of the rest of the 19 and 3/4 years. And that's frustrating to me, and it's sad to me because I can also look at that time period and say without a doubt that I have never been more involved. I've never learned more. I've never grown as much. I've never done as much for the fire service and for my crew and anybody else that is willing to accept it. I've never done as much as I have in that same time period. So why is that the time period that in my career I'm getting the heat, I'm getting the pressure, I'm getting, the closed door meetings, why? I don't understand. So anyway, like I said, I'm not going to get into that, but that on top of the frustration that was already there because, I want to see us getting better and it's not happening. And those two things put together, it just took it out of me. It just sucked the life out of me. And the last kind of meeting that I had, a month ago or so, that was almost like the nail in the coffin. And after leaving that meeting, I literally felt like my passion, my drive was stripped away from me. And it was scary to me because, before the past few months, my mind is just running with stuff, just things to think about, topics to talk about, uh, for podcasts, guests to talk with, and different things I just want to put out and just build on, and classes that I'm working on making, and it's just constantly coming out. Well, at that point, after that last meeting, it was dry. My mind and my heart was a desert. And like I said, it scared me because I enjoyed that passion and that drive to just have stuff pouring out of me. And what was scary is, not only is it gone, but will it come back? Did I lose this stuff for good? And that was scary to me because I don't want to be like that. I want to be somebody that grows every day. I want to be somebody that shares what I have inside so that I can help others grow every day. And so that's where I was. I was an empty person as far as we're talking about, the leadership stuff, and the drive to do these external things like the podcast and social media posts, and building classes and things like that. I was dried up. I didn't have anything inside to put out. And so that led me to taking a break because, I don't do these podcasts just to say that I'm doing them. I don't just, you know, have a Rolodex of something to say, topics or whatever to discuss, just to make sure that I'm meeting my, two podcasts a week. I don't do that. When I record something, my heart is in it. That's how that's how I make this happen. That's how I'm okay with making this happen, because I'm not going to be somebody that just puts out something and doesn't truly believe in it, doesn't truly feel a passion towards it. And so I needed to step back because I was not in the right frame of mind to be putting anything out. And so that's where that break started. Is I needed to take a step back and regain what had been lost. And originally I was hoping to just take a week off and get right back into it. And that week went by and nothing had changed. If not, maybe even gotten worse. So, it's this past 3-4 weeks, however long it's been, has been a little battle. It's been a little journey within itself, within the bigger journey. And, slowly I started kind of regaining some stuff back, conversations with my wife, conversations with some friends. Uh, Clubhouse has been a good kind of segue to get me back into it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. I don't want to, I'm actually a few minutes away from having to head to the firehouse. I took 4 shifts off. It's supposed to be 3, but I had a son fall out of a tree, and so I had to take an extra sick day off to take care of him before we flew out to Florida. And my wife and I took a trip, almost a week's long trip to Pensacola Beach. We got to go to the Command Officer Boot Camp, which is a spouse friendly conference that County Fire Tactics puts on. And I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that time. I can't tell you how much I needed that time, how much we needed that time, speaking of my wife and I. And I I can't speak on this without thanking the men from Woods Forcible Entry Door Kits. You know, I do some work with them for them on the Instagram page here and there, and some other things, and so you know they basically sponsored, I guess is a good term, us to go to that, and without them doing that, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And so I can't thank those guys enough. Great guys. They sponsor the podcast, so I don't have to worry about a lot of those subscription costs and things like that. And so I appreciate them so much. I work with them. They're great people outside of people that have a great product that I truly love by itself. But anyway, that time was great. You know, we got to get away from, you know, the problems that exist from having 7 kids, the problems that exist from having a small farm of lots of animals and, you know, everything. It was just nice to get away for us. And at the same time, I got to listen to a lot of people give presentations, a lot of people that, man, I have really looked up to over the past year and a half. Some great people, you know, Chief Scott Thompson, Chief Todd Edwards. Those were great. Ray McCormick, of course, Chief Isaacson. Just some great conversations that I really needed to hear. And so that just kind of was that last nudge to say, it's time to start back. It's time to get back into it. And so my heart is in it. And that's why I'm right here right now, because I'm ready to go. And like I said, you know, I'm not committing to getting back on schedule yet, you know, so, you know, please bear with me and have some patience before I kind of get back into all that. But I am excited to be back. You know, that conference was interesting. You know, my wife is not a big socializer, so a lot of the kind of after presentation times that are made for socializing and, you know, for kind of networking, we avoided, which is good, because that was time that we enjoyed with just the two of us. And that was something that I had to talk myself kind of through, because I saw that opportunity with all those people there that I wanted to meet and talk with and learn from. But at the same time, that was a very rare opportunity that I had with my wife to be on the beach at a great place, to sit at the ocean, to walk on the ocean at night, to, you know, just all the great things that we had the ability to do. That was a rare chance to do those. And if I allowed myself to get sucked into wanting to be at all of those events, it would have been a very different trip. And I guarantee you, it would not have ended with a happy couple heading home on the airplane, because it rightfully so, she would have, you know, not enjoyed her time as much. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as well, or as much. So luckily, I was able to work through those things without having any issues, without having, you know, some resentment headed my way because I was neglecting the time that was there. And I was able to just enjoy that time with her and just be present, and, you know, eat out with just me and her at nights. We took a walk on the beach pretty much every night after dinner. The times that I was available during the day that we weren't having classes, just sitting with her and enjoying that time. And so that was great. And like I said, I am very thankful that I was able to be smart enough to take advantage of that time for me and her, and be patient. Times will other chances will come that I'll get to talk to those people and meet these people and have those conversations. And so to take advantage of that time with my wife was great. And so anyway, you know I haven't been to work in quite a while, so I'm excited to get back today. I'm excited to get back on track, to be a great, great company like I know we can be, like I know we are. So it's a great time. I'm just excited to enjoy my small circle, to make my small circle better and not worry about anything else, because that's all I can do. And that's a great opportunity. Having that opportunity is a great opportunity, and I am thankful for that. So that's a little bit of my journey. I'm sure we'll get into it more here and there, but I just wanted to reach out to everybody and say thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for coming back and being with me now. I hope that we can get back into that momentum that we had going. I will say that a few things before I go. If you are not on Clubhouse, if you have not joined in on some of our conversations, please do yourself a favor and get that going. Reach out to me. I've got lots of invites. Everybody has lots of invites. They've opened up Android now, so everybody should be able to get in there. And so that being said, it's just a great opportunity to kind of, to get some help here and there with whatever you're needing. I several weeks back, I was in a spot where I needed some conversation. I needed some positivity from outside of myself. And so one Friday morning, I just started a room that I called Breakfast with Friends. And just like these podcasts, it was super laid back, informal, just a conversation with whoever wanted to join in. And it was really enjoyable. And I got lots of feedback saying, hey, this is something you need to do every week. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to tie myself to a weekly set thing. But, I got some help from some other people. Pip from 555 Fitness, who I've been kind of getting to know better and I'll say is starting to be a good friend. Is he kind of stepped up and said that he's more than willing to help. And, between the two of us, we can cover it pretty well. But I reached out to even a few more other people just in case we couldn't. And so, we've got a small group of people that host it. And so that being said, if you haven't joined those conversations, join us this Friday. If you haven't downloaded the Clubhouse app or join us. Join it with the next couple days and join us in that conversation on Friday. You usually do it at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And so, that kind of fluctuates a little bit, an hour or so, but we try to keep it around that time. So please join in on that conversation. It's really, really good stuff. And so give it a try. But if you need any information on that, reach out to me. The last thing that I will bring up is this year I've really tried to focus on giving back. I sell shirts and hats and coins and stickers. And what I've been able to do with that money this year is some great things. I don't know the number for sure, but I think it's around $800 so far I've been able to use for sponsoring different things. And this last thing that I've done is buy a couple tickets to the Honor the Fallen conference here in Oklahoma City coming up at the end of June. I've got 2 full tickets that include all the lectures on 2 days and the hot class on the third day, which one is a engine track, I believe, and one is a search track, I believe. But that being said, I've been blessed to be able to sponsor some things. I've been blessed to have the money come in from those orders to be able to buy those tickets, and I want to continue to do those things because it's just, it feels like that's what I need to be doing. And I've been inspired by several other people that are kind of doing the same thing. And so I will say, if you haven't seen any of the Crew First Culture stuff that we have out there, check it out. And if you see anything you like, please order something, because that is going to a good cause. It's going to good things. And to go into the tickets, I talked with Chief Corley Moore yesterday about giving those 2 tickets away on next week's weekly scrap, or maybe even just we'll kind of do a special episode or something. We'll be giving those 2 tickets out next week at some point, and I'll put more information out, and he'll put more information out here pretty quickly on how to make sure you're in on that, if you can come. So if that's something that you're available to come to, please be watching for that, because I want it to bring as much exposure for that conference as we can, because that is a completely 100% above their cost donated to the families of fallen firefighters here in Oklahoma. So we want to make that as big as we can. And so that's part of why I did it. Other part of it is I want to get people to conferences that might not have the chance to go. So be looking for that here pretty quick. I'll probably even try to put out a post today just with some information. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for anybody out there that has bought things from me, that has allowed me to be able to do those things. I promise I will be doing more, as much as I can, depending on what I have to give. So thank you very much. Thank you for having patience with me. Thank you for joining me today. Just thank you for being with me on this journey. And I look forward to where we go from here. It is so exciting to know how far I've come, how far this has come in the past year, and to think about where it could be next year is a very exciting thing. So thank you very much. I will leave you with that. I got to get to the firehouse. I will look forward to seeing you later. I will leave you with this. Don't wait for somebody to make the change. Be the change. If there is something that needs to happen to make something better, don't wait for it to happen. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You be the change. So thank you for that. I will talk to you next time. Until then, stay humble and do work.